wearing the same old hairstyle.
Then she made us cry.
It's always been a big source of grief to me that I never, first of all, that she even took the time to say goodbye to me, or try to, and then I wasn't able to.
The dream of being one of her life's ambition was to be a star. The public scandal.
Gilda Radner always showed a special spark in front of the camera. She made television history in 1975. In the next 2 hours, we will bring you the uniquely sad and funny story of Gilda Radner. From her days as a chubby kid to her Saturday nights as a television star. From the little girl who lost her father to the woman who finally found her true love. And from unfortunate victim who was stricken by cancer to the victorious spirit who refused to let misfortune stop the laughter. And through interviews with friends, family, and co-stars who knew her best, we will introduce you to the woman who made so many people smile.
Gilda shined. And that was the thing. She was going to shine come hell or high water.
Am I wrong to want to appear attractive?
No, I think you're being very reasonable. Harry Wiesner. Harry Wiesner.
Plus, we will show you rare moments of Gilda's childhood in exclusive home movies never seen before on television. And you will hear from Gilda herself in a recording of her autobiography taped less than a month before she passed away.
It was the first time I actually feared what might happen to me, what was happening to me. Why me? This is cancer. I'm only 40 years old, and I could die.
The Gilda Radner story is a life-affirming account of humor, courage, and the spirit of a valiant woman who refused to give up.
The dream of being one of her life's ambition was to be a star.
The public scandal.
Where did the name Gilda come from? Well, it turned out that I learned from my mother that she and her sister, Frida, had gone to see what was a big deal movie in 1946. And that movie was Gilda with Rita Hayworth. And at the time, my mother was looking for a girl's name with a G to be named after her late mother, Goldie. And suddenly here was this G, and it was a show business movie that, you know, caused Gilda's name to be Gilda.
Her name seemed to predict the power that show business would have in Gilda Radner's life. Although she got that name from a big screen sex symbol, her hometown was far from the world's glamour capitals. She was born in Detroit in 1946, the second child of Herman and Henrietta Radner. Her older brother, Michael, fondly recalls their childhood.
This house was a big part of our lives. When Gilda was born, she came from the hospital home here, and this was her home for the next 17 years.
Herman Radner was more than 50 years old when his only daughter was born, and she immediately became Daddy's little girl.
Gilda's relationship with her father was wonderful. When she was born, she became the apple of his eye. I mean, he was just so excited with this darling little girl, and the feeling was mutual. She loved him, he loved her. I mean, they each loved the rest of the family, but there was just a special bond between the two of them.
This magical father-daughter bond started Gilda on her path into show business. Childhood friend Pam Katz knew Gilda from the age of 8.
She was extraordinarily close to her dad. He was a wonderful guy. He encouraged her performing. He really was her best audience.
Our father was in the hotel business when we were growing up. And he loved show business, and he loved show business people. And many show business people would stay at his hotel when they were in town. And he befriended them. He was a frustrated show business entertainer himself. When the company would come to the house, he'd like to get up and do a card trick or do something. And Gilda, early on, picked up both how much my father appreciated her performing and how happy it made him.
Herman Radner's health gradually grew worse, and after a 2-year battle, he passed away. Gilda later described her terrible sense of loss to close friend and fellow actor, Martin Short.
She was devastated by her father's death. She adored her father. And I think, you know, she was 14, I believe, when her father died. And that, I mean, listen, I have a 13-year-old daughter. And that's an amazingly intense time for father and daughter. So that was of a huge trauma in her life, to lose someone that important to her so young.
The loss of her father left a certain emptiness in Gilda's life that she could never truly replace. When the E! True Hollywood story continues, Gilda searches for a way to replace the loss of her father.
She felt that she was probably performing for him, you know, and it was something that he would have enjoyed.
And her comic talent wins a job with a cast of young actors who are destined to become famous.
And so she got it. I mean, she was the first person hired.
Head south.
It's happening. It's hot in here.
To the burning sand.
Don't put the camera over there. They're doing something very private.
Take a turn on trendy Ocean Drive.
Everybody is susceptible to my charm.
And wind up in the place for big parties and beautiful people, South Beach.
Wow, you bet, baby.
So throw caution to the wind and let E! show you the sizzling side of Miami.
May the E! be with you.
It's Wild on South Beach, tonight at 10, only on E!
Never seen you looking so lovely as you did tonight.
Smart Ones from Weight Watchers in the red box. Delicious recipes like angel hair pasta and a rich tomato basil sauce. Make red your color with Smart Ones.
Allow us to introduce America's best warranty. One with 10 years, 100,000 miles powertrain coverage, 5 years, 60,000 miles bumper-to-bumper protection, and 5 years unlimited mileage roadside assistance. Who makes such solid cars that they can offer a warranty this strong? Introducing the Hyundai Advantage. It's yours on every $19.99 Hyundai.
Florida's natural, not from concentrate premium juice is made by a co-op of growers whose only business is making juices. They own the land, they own the trees, they own the company. Taste the difference it makes.
It's no secret why Jimmy Dean sausage tastes great. Authentic, whole ground spices, not oils or extracts, and it's a taste that you can only get with Jimmy Dean. Only the best. That's the Jimmy Dean way.
Where on earth would the House of Blues choose to celebrate an opening with Bob Dylan, Sheryl Crow, and Michael Bolton? What phenomenon would it take to bring the Tony Award-winning musical Chicago so very far off Broadway? What could be so fascinating to attract internationally renowned chefs, masseurs, and quite possibly surfers from around the world? Just watch. Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas. Opening March 2nd. Call for reservations now.
Hey, let's talk New York. Let's talk big. Like the new Big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. It's a genuine street corner, 16-inch New York-style pizza with 8 big floppy foldable slices that's really, really good. At a price that's very un-New York, $9.99.
The Big New Yorker pizza from Pizza Hut. Get connected to the biggest celebrities, the latest showbiz news, and more. It's the world of entertainment at your fingertips at www.eonline.com or AOL keyword E.
I'm Ryan Seacrest, and I've got Freaks Galore coming up on Talk Soup Weekend. Don't be scared. I'll hold your hand, but not the sticky one. Tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern and Pacific, only on E!
Roadhouse Grill. Eat, drink, and be yourself.
Hi everybody, this is Faith Hill for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. As a performer, I've had many wonderful moments to celebrate. So please, when you celebrate, designate. Please choose a designated driver. Remember, friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Gilda Radner was just 14 years old when her beloved father passed away, but she found a way to keep his spirit alive. Herman Radner had loved to watch his young daughter perform. After his death, Gilda continued to act and to seek laughter.
She felt that she was probably performing for him, you know, and it was something that he would have enjoyed, and he would have been really proud of her.
In 1964, Gilda went off to the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor, less than an hour's drive from Detroit. There she majored in public speaking and oral interpretation. She quickly got involved with the theater department and was cast in college plays. Childhood friend Judy Levy remembers Gilda would do almost anything for a laugh.
When she came out on stage, I was shocked because the costuming was wonderful, but it really did accentuate the fact that at that time she was quite overweight. And I was a little bit horrified because the minute she came out, everybody started to laugh because she was just so flamboyant and so funny. And it hurt my feelings, I mean, for her. And, but she loved it, you know, because she was actually trying to get that kind of reaction, and she did.
College friend Vince Capizzo recalls that Gilda's humor did more than just get laughs for her.
Pretty much everyone who met her fell in love with her. To some extent, that was a problem for her because, you know, everybody was asking her out.
But Gilda found a steady boyfriend, and that romance led her to make a major decision when she was in her early 20s. Instead of chasing her dream of being on stage, her brother remembers that Gilda followed her heart.
Gilda moved to Toronto. It was not a career move, it was a guy move.
Young people were moving to Canada, angry over American political policies and resisting the draft. I moved too, but because I fell in love with a Canadian sculptor and wanted to be his wife and a homemaker. I never graduated from the University of Michigan.
Close friend and original Saturday Night Live writer Marilyn Suzanne Miller recalls Gilda's intense desire for a family life.
You know, she kept house. She was an incredible cook, a fabulous cook. And so she wanted to, you know, kind of get married and have a legit life. By the same token, she was able to make everybody laugh all the time, unendingly. And how could she just constantly run from that gift?
Gilda's drive to express her brilliant creative talent began to clash with her hopes of creating a happy, stable home.
My homemaking fantasy and my romance lasted about a year and 4 months. We never got to the getting married part.
I think that was an interesting time in Gilda's life because she was trying so hard to be like the perfect homemaker, and she crocheted a lot of pillows and afghans and did a lot of embroidery and a lot of cooking and things like that. But I think that was a really important outlet for her creative energy, which, you know, maybe she wasn't getting to use the way she would have wanted to, you know. And I think it wasn't until after they broke up and she stayed here that she started getting involved in theater.
After she began performing in Toronto, it didn't take long for Gilda to get her first big break. As close friend and fellow actor, Martin Short remembers.
I first met Gilda in I'll tell you exactly the day. It was March 25th, 1972, and it was at the callback auditions for Godspell. There must have been 800 people there. And I remember Gilda coming up on stage. She had pigtails out to here, and she sang, zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay, hi, oh my, what? And I thought, well, poor thing, isn't that sad? What possible motivation could prompt someone to make that choice and do it that way?
Gilda's little number also caught the attention of fellow cast members.
I was sort of alarmed because I remember there was, you know, she was tall and slim and had these big pigtails, and she was clearly a mature person. She was singing zippity-doo-dah and loud. She had a loud voice, and I remember I thought, what is that girl doing? And then I just became completely entranced with her.
By the time she finished her number, and we got the response in the room, I kind of knew what her thing was, and that is that she is her own act, you know? I mean, she sells herself and puts herself in everything she does, and that's what people love.
Well, the reality was that Gilda was the smartest because she had seen the show in New York, and she knew that was the exact type of person number that, in fact, was the show Godspell. And so she got it. I mean, she was the first person hired, you know.
When the curtain came up on the opening performance of Godspell at Toronto's Royal Alexander Theatre back in 1972, Gilda and most of the other members of the cast were still just kids breaking into show business.
I remember how nervous we all were opening nights and pulling it off, and all of us being stunned that we didn't freeze on stage, you know, with all the pressure. And so I think everything about it was overwhelming. And for Gilda, a real dream come true. This had been a fantasy.
This was the first job that we got as professional actors. We were all getting off on the fact that this is big-time showbiz, and we had money to spend, you know. I mean, we got $160 a week, and that was like, we'd hit the gravy train there.
Not only was Gilda glad to be working, she was surrounded by a cast filled with faces that would later become famous.
I joined an amazing company of talented people, including Paul Schaefer, Martin Short, Victor Garber, Eugene Levy, and Andrea Martin.
Godspell helped make Gilda a local celebrity, landing her several roles in Canadian television ads and productions.
And you know that's good. Besides, it's way, way cleaner than the other fuel. And it's cheaper now than in 56.
She gained exposure with her television work, but it was Godspell that gave Gilda her biggest boost. That role ultimately led to a meeting with Lorne Michaels, who would create Saturday Night Live.
I remember a night after I'd seen her perform where she and some other mutual friends, we all ended up at a restaurant someplace, and she was talking about bingo, and she was playing, I think, up to 16 cards, which was the part that fascinated me. I remembered how unique she was, and funny in a very original way.
Lorne Michaels wasn't the only one who noticed her unique sense of humor. In 1973, when the famed Second City Improv Group opened a theater in Toronto, 27-year-old Gilda Radner was picked as one of the first cast members. She quickly mastered the art of improv humor. This training helped lay the groundwork for her future Saturday Night Live performances.
Her Emily Latella character was originally a character called Miss Teebley. And that was a scene that we did in one of the Second City shows where I interviewed this woman, Miss Teebley, who came on with a talking shoe. And she had the shoe, and she would come on and say, "Oh, yes, yes, it talks. It's a talking shoe. It talks to me all the time."
The executive producer of Second City saw that audiences adored Gilda, even at this early stage of her career.
She had this innate ability to find herself in a situation when she was improvising to get out of it gracefully and with a laugh, and so the audience was always on her side.
She could jump out of the material and doing a sideline to the audience, or which we all did from time to time, or just in the expression on her face when a scene wasn't working. You know, she would be in the scene, but the expression on her face would show that the scene wasn't working, and the audience knew that. They picked up on it.
Just as in Godspell, she was once again surrounded by talented actors such as Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, and Joe Flaherty, who would also become famous. Gilda was further influenced when she met the Chicago cast of Second City, because one cast member was a budding young comedian named John Belushi. He soon became a good friend.
They used to do a lot of physical comedy, and she said something like John was the only person that could hit her without hurting her or hurt her without hitting her.
Gilda understood Belushi's comedic style.
Belushi made me laugh like you can't imagine. I adored him.
She was coming to a turning point in her career, and John Belushi was the friend who convinced her to make a move that would change the course of her life. When the E! True Hollywood Story continues, Gilda makes television history on Saturday nights. But the groundbreaking show gets off to a very slow start.
We don't get depressed because it wasn't that funny on Monday mornings at noon.
And later, Gilda's lifelong search for true love finally comes true.
When I tell you that the electricity between the two of them was in the air, I mean, anybody could have felt it.
They married the men who changed music forever.
Everybody wanted to be something.
But behind the romance, they suffered betrayal.
There were, he claimed, over 300 groupies he had had sex with.
Abuse.
I just found her covered in blood, and I'd beaten her up and I have no idea.
And tragedy.
There was only one part for her to play, your grieving widow.
Now, see the Beatles like you've never seen them before, through the eyes of the women who loved them.
It was just mind-boggling.
Beatle Wives, tomorrow at 8 Eastern and Pacific on the E! True Hollywood Story.
Never seen you looking so lovely as you did tonight.
Smart ones from Weight Watchers in the red box. Delicious recipes like angel hair pasta and a rich tomato basil sauce. Make red your color with Smart ones.
So let's get started now, Heather. To camera, and tell us about you.
I live at the beach with Henry. That's my dog. Dog, Henry, lab. Do you need me to smile? Yeah. Great friends, good job, out of control shoe fetish. Books, and lots of movies.
Sounds like you have a pretty good life.
Thanks.
Thank you. So what kind of man are you looking for?
Heather?
Second chances are rare. Life usually doesn't rewind. So when you get a chance to turn back time, grab it. Reach for Enamelon. Toothpaste technology so advanced, it helps undo the damage food does daily to enamel. Only Enamelon combines fluoride with liquid calcium to penetrate teeth, helping to rebuild enamel even stronger. Help undo the damage and rebuild enamel every day. Great tasting Enamelon. A second chance for your teeth.
License, please. Was I speeding? Negative. I see you're driving the Seville STS with the North Star system, the most powerful front-wheel drive car in the world, with performance algorithm shifting that gives you incredible control. Uh-huh. So I have just one question. Do you feel lucky, Mr. Johnson?
Yes. Yes, I do.
You should.
Seville STS. It's what's next.
For years, the photo center at Walgreens has been known for quality photo processing. Now, with the Kodak Picture Maker, you can create do-it-yourself prints in a number of different sizes in less than 5 minutes. You can even get a set of prints on floppy disk or the internet, so you can send your photos online. Create photo greeting cards today, and they're ready the next day. Walgreens Photo Center, where America takes its pictures.
What's the hottest thing to happen to pizza? The Domino's Heat Wave. It works like a portable oven, delivering a pizza that's really hot and really bubbly. Domino's, delivering 1 million smiles a day. Right now, get 2 medium pizzas with up to 3 toppings for just $13.99.
If this is you, this is your rush hour. This is your corner office. This is your blankie. Finally, communications is caught up with the way you live. Introducing AT&T Personal Network. Now all the ways you want to communicate in one network for a low monthly fee. Long distance, calling card, even wireless calls, it doesn't matter, because they're at the same rate of just 10 cents a minute. plus internet access. And AT&T Personal Network brings it all together with one monthly bill, one number to call for more personalized service, and the same low rate, just 10 cents a minute for your calls, including wireless. Just call 1-800-4ATT now or visit our website to get your AT&T Personal Network. This is your reality. This is your reality check. And now this is your network. Call 1-800-4ATT now and change forever the way you communicate.
This portion of E is brought to you by AT&T Personal Network. Communications has finally caught up with the way you live.
During her 20s, Gilda had made a name for herself in Canada. Then, the Big Apple began calling her. She had to make a choice: enjoy the comfort and security of her life in Toronto, or work in New York with a wild young comic who had become her good friend, John Belushi. This decision would ultimately change the course of her life and propel her to fame. It was John Belushi who convinced Gilda to join him in New York City and work for a National Lampoon stage show.
He had done the show Lemmings for them in 1973, and it had been a huge success. The Lampoon people wanted him to do another show, and they were letting him direct it. He could choose the cast. He asked me to be the girl in the show.
Gilda arrived in Manhattan in 1974, and once again, she was surrounded by some of the best young talent in comedy. The cast of the National Lampoon show included John Belushi, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, and Richard Belzer. Gilda charmed the entire staff, including the founder of the National Lampoon, Matty Simmons.
Never met anybody who really didn't like Gilda. And that's what being in that show with 5 or 6 boys was about. They all were crazy about it. She was just nice, and she was one of the guys. She was just a great person to be with.
On stage, Gilda had a special rapport with John Belushi and Bill Murray.
They worked incredibly well together. They worked together for a long time, and they were like an all-star team of comedians.
They were all extraordinarily talented, but there was a level between being very good and being a star. And Gilda was a star. I mean, you knew she was going to be a star.
Gilda's incredible talent was apparent to everyone but herself. She revealed her doubts to producer Ivan Reitman.
One day when I was sitting with Gilda in between shows, she was almost in tears. She said, you know, I just don't think I'm ever going to make it. I think I should quit. And I don't believe I have it. I said, Gilda, within a year from now, you're going to be on some television show. Everyone's going to love you. You'll be America's sweetheart.
In addition to the stage show, Gilda also appeared on the Lampoon's Radio Hour program.
Mr. Santa, for Christmas, could I please have a Busy Brenda Mystery Action Vacuum Cleaner doll?
No, honey. Sorry.
Could I have, a battery-operated dog family?
No.
Could I Flexi the Pocket Monkey?
No, you may not have Flexi the Pocket Monkey.
Gilda's irreverent sense of humor fit well with the Lampoon crowd, but she still appeared to be homesick for Toronto. Close friend and fellow actor Victor Garber remembers her mood very well.
Those were tough years for her, because I think the move from Toronto, where it was very much, you could sort of control your life, and then coming to New York, I don't know if she ever really liked being in New York.
Less than a year after arriving in New York, Gilda was faced with another critical career decision. She could return to the comfort of Toronto and immediately join the cast of a Canadian talk show with comedian David Steinberg. Or she could stay in New York and wait to become part of a new experimental show for NBC at half the salary. The creator of that NBC show wanted Gilda to stay.
I was absolutely certain about it. She was funny, and she was fresh. I was really comfortable with her. And I just knew, I didn't know what the show was going to be, but you sort of start by hiring the first person. And in my case, it was her.
Lorne asked his manager, Bernie Brillstein, to persuade Gilda to stay.
And I said, look, we're going to New York. NBC is putting a lot of money behind it. We have an order for 17 shows. And aren't you better off being a success on network television? And I guess the logic got to her because she decided to come with us.
This new show was originally called Saturday Night, so that TV programmers wouldn't forget which day it aired. Former Saturday Night Live writer Al Franken recalls how SNL was aimed at viewers hungry for a different kind of television.
We were a group of people who had grown up with television and had grown up in the 60s, and we wanted to be able to sort of not push the boundaries, but we just wanted to talk the way we talked.
The stakes were high as the debut of the new show neared.
At that time, it was a huge risk for everyone. I mean, it's like saying, okay, we're going to get a band of fools together and do a television show, 11:30 Saturday night on NBC. It had never been done, and it was live.
Original Saturday Night Live cast member Lorraine Newman remembers those early days.
None of us knew what to expect. It was our first professional job, our first big job, so we didn't even know how high the stakes were. We could never have imagined how high the stakes became.
There's my friend Katrinka. She can fly down the
It was a chance to be on national television, and it was doing something that we had all prepared for. You know, doing a sketch, running off stage, taking off that costume and that wig, putting on a new one, running back out, having lights come up and doing a different character. We all had come from that kind of a show, but we were doing it in front of an audience of millions of people.
I think we have about 300 clams in this pile here. Come on.
Have some coffee, please.
I think she was the best improver on the show. I mean, ever she was around, it was like a halo was around her, and it was just a glow.
Original SNL writer Rosie Schuster.
And Gilda was perfectly suited for that because she really knew how to ride the waves. You know, she knew how to surf, you know, she knew how to surf an audience, a live audience.
Gilda also knew how to handle herself at backstage creative meetings where the show was planned. At one of those meetings, she struck up a lifelong friendship with original Saturday Night Live writer Alan Zweibel, who was feeling very intimidated at the time.
I squatted down behind his plant so I wouldn't be noticed. And I'm sitting there, and about a minute or so later, I hear a girl's voice on the other side of the plant saying, can you help me be a parakeet? And I said, what? And I parted the leaves, and I looked through, and it was like Gilda looking at me and saying, yeah, I think it'd be really funny if I sat on a big perch and squished up my face and squawked a lot, but I need a writer to help me figure out what the parakeet should say. Could you help me? She got in front of the potted plant, and she pitched her parakeet idea, but she attributed it to me.
And we'd all get depressed because it wasn't that funny on Monday mornings at noon. And it was at the end of the first season, Danny and John drove cross country. People just started getting feedback, like that. Oh, people like this, and people, and it was, and then we started finding out.
The show wasn't a hit for 2 years. Really wasn't. Everyone thinks it was an immediate hit. Not a chance. Look at the ratings. It just became a thing. It had time to grow.
It's just a clear, quick connection between Gilda and the audience, and I think that's why she just proved so popular and so quickly.
There are certain performers who can do a star, and that's what made everyone love her.
When geek heat or something that they would generate.
And later, the family, friends, and fans who love Gilda support her courageous battle with cancer.
Life was to be lived, and she was going to fight the battle right to the end.
The
The internet isn't just for surfing anymore.
Cyber dating is the updated way to meet someone.
Whether you're looking for love online
I wouldn't be surprised if I met somebody that I ended up marrying.
or just looking,
People are visually stimulated.
it's easy to get caught up in the web.
You can actually get whatever you want over the internet.
He downloads the hottest stories on the net.
I don't think cyber sex can compare to the real thing.
Tales of the Web, hosted by Cindy Margolis. Tomorrow at 7 Eastern and Pacific, only on E!
Hey, let's talk New York. Let's talk pizza. Let's talk big. Like the new Big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. It's so big, it's got 3 zip codes. You need a road map to find your way across. It's so big, on the other side, it's almost Cleveland. It's a genuine street corner, 16-inch New York-style pizza with 8 big floppy foldable slices dripping with cheese and tomato sauce that's really, really good. At a price that's very un-New York, $9.99. $9.99. You can't even get a taxi for that price. The Big New Yorker pizza from Pizza Hut. The best pizzas under one roof.
Worry about them running around barefoot, never wearing a sweater.
But too much cold medicine? It never occurred to us.
Now we use Try-A-Minute. We choose the formula that's right for their symptoms.
So there's no chance of side effects from unnecessary medicine.
Try-A-Minute lets you choose the right relief without the worry.
No soap, no water, no problem. Dial hand sanitizer kills 99.9% of germs instantly.
Is Iams cat food good for life? Well, research suggests cats can lower your blood pressure and help their owners live longer, healthier lives. In return, help your cat live a long, healthy life with Iams. The wholesome ingredients in Iams are more digestible, so more nutrition stays in your cat. And cats love the taste of Iams. So feed them Iams day after day and enjoy their company year after year. Iams cat foods, good for life, from the Iams Company.
How many sugars do you want?
Oh, I'll take 2.
Hey, look at the little telephone.
Keep your eye on him. He'll be over every day to use it.
That's okay. Just as long as he dials 1010 321 first.
Isn't 1010 321 great? You should see how low my phone bill is.
And now it's even better, you know. Saves 50% off calls over 10 minutes.
Right, day or night. So I save big on all my most important calls.
Like when I call my boyfriend in New York.
Right, like when you call your boyfriend in New York. Wait a minute, boyfriend? You got a boyfriend?
The air's so clean, and the sky's so blue. My grandfather and I were best of buddies. These mountains are like home to us. We used to have a lot of fun. We'd go camping and go fishing. Nice way to grow up. I'm Steve Kirby. I test emissions for Ford Motor Company. We're up here in the Rockies testing Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury sport utility vehicles. We really have to protect this. It's the only planet we have. We're really concerned about the environment. Every SUV we sell this year is going to be low emissions. These vehicles average 35% less smog-forming emissions than the government requires. 35%. That's really amazing. RPM's fine. Performance fine. And it's pretty nice to be able to say, yeah, I'm doing my part to improve the environment. We have to have clean air and clean water. That's all there is to it. The government doesn't make us do this. We're doing this for my mountains. Better ideas driven by you.
Finding the coolest entertainment merchandise has never been easier with shop.eonline.com, the internet's one-stop shop for entertainment.
Hi, I'm Rob Lowe. You're watching
It never fails. Arthur Hardy, publisher of The Mardi Gras Guide. Where do you start online?
InsideNewOrleans.com. It's the best local site on the web and the only local search around.
Don't tell me it's all work and no play.
Oh, no. InsideNewOrleans.com has great calendars, restaurant reviews, the weather. I can even check my stocks in real time.
So, would you say there's life outside of Carnival in New Orleans?
Well, of course there is. There's Carnival in Rio, Carnival in Venice.
Where do you start online? Start inside, InsideNewOrleans.com.
Over 1 million have gotten tighter stomachs with 8-minute abs. And to celebrate our success, we created the 8-Minute Gold Collection.
I went from this flabby spare tire to a washboard stomach. Thanks, 8-Minute Abs.
You'll get 8-Minute Abs, 8-Minute Buns, and 8-Minute Arms. A $60 value for only $24.95. Flatten those abs, shape your buns, and tone your arms. Call now and we'll include a free $5 rebate. That's right, get 8-Minute Abs, Buns, and Arms all for only $19.95 after rebate. To order, call 1-800-257-5700.
If you look close, you can see my depths. 'Cause I want you to, but don't want you to know that I do.
By the mid-1970s, Gilda Radner had put aside her dream of living a quiet life as a happy housewife and thrown herself into her career. Hard work and talent had won her a role on Saturday Night Live and put her on the verge of stardom, but she also paid a price for fame. Gilda Radner and Saturday Night Live have become legends in television history, but the show did not start out as a hit. It took 2 full seasons for SNL to catch on with viewers. But when the ratings went up, the cast and staff writers like Marilyn Suzanne Miller were unaware of the show's popularity.
We lived in a building, and we slept in the building, and we did not know the hurricane that was going on around us.
Gilda was part of that marathon work schedule and tried to put some extra humor into the long, late hours with writers working on sketches and gags.
You'd call Gilda up at 1 in the morning and go, "I've got a great idea, but I need to work with you on it." And she'd go, "I'll be right over."
And she had gotten in a cab and come uptown from the village where she was living at the time to come to the office in her pajamas.
She'd be in her nightgown, and you go, "Oh my God, you were asleep." No, she would have been in her clothes.
The charm of Gilda was that she confessed that actually she had been dressed when she was talking to me on the phone, and then and that she knew that it would be funnier if she put on her pajamas and her raincoat and came up in her pajamas. So she had actually changed into her pajamas.
The staff was working night and day, so producer Lorne Michaels felt they needed to get out of the studio during SNL's 3rd season in 1977. He decided to do a show at Mardi Gras in New Orleans, where Gilda and writers Al Franken and Ann Beats discovered they were at the center of a national phenomenon that made fans act in strange ways.
It was amazing because we couldn't get around. Gilda had to wear a mask to get from her hotel to the set.
We were in the French Quarter. It was pretty wild. And Gilda was in her Emily Latella outfit, and some guy who was very drunk, I think this is because he liked Gilda, but it might be an example of something else, tried to go down on Emily Latella. Gilda was surprised.
Gilda's unique array of characters helped turn Saturday Night Live into a trend-setting smash hit for NBC.
Am I wrong to want to appear attractive?
No, I think you're being very reasonable. Harry Wiesner. Harry Wiesner.
Creator Lorne Michaels remembers that, ironically, she was hired to portray no one but herself.
Gilda thought, and I thought, that primarily her work on the show would be as Gilda. And she was very clear about it before we went on the air, that she really didn't do characters.
But that changed. No one would ever forget Gilda's portrayals of Rosanna Dana, Baba Wawa, Judy Miller.
And then gradually there was just more and more characters.
You know, the girls shared a dressing room for the first 3 years of the show. The boys had their own dressing rooms, but the girls shared one dressing room. So we were very close, and I think it was the kind of thing where, as bad as the guys were, we had to be that good. But I think, you know, our love of comedy is the thing that held us together.
Gilda loved Jane and Lorraine. She loved all of us. And the real human things that she felt for people, like when she was in a scene and she didn't have a lot of lines, like a scene like that, she loved sitting there drinking Cokes and getting to eat cheeseburgers and getting to be with Jane and getting to be on TV like a regular person would. And it sounds insane, but it's true.
It looked like that weekend, and they would get really, you know, it was like geek heat or something that they would generate.
But the relationship with Bill Murray did not last, and neither did the other romances that she pursued at the peak of her fame. Childhood friend Judy Levy recalls that most men were intimidated by Gilda's fame.
I think that was very hard when you were trying to have a relationship with someone, and everywhere you would go, people would stop you and, you know, and see you, and then the other person's like ignored.
The spotlight did more than ruin romance for Gilda. It heightened her longtime insecurity about being overweight. Years later, she talked openly about her inner battles with eating disorders.
With fame and the constant display of my image on television came anorexia. I became almost afraid to eat. I wanted desperately to be as thin as Lorraine Newman on Saturday Night Live, but the New York streets were filled with tempting things to eat. Around the second year of Saturday Night Live, I taught myself to throw up. I became bulimic before medical science had even given it that name.
Gilda and I practiced our disorders together, which are not the fondest of memories, but she was much funnier about hers than I was about mine. And at one point, I remember her getting up from the kitchen table in her apartment saying, "I'm so full," because she had eaten, I can't even remember what it was that she'd eaten. She says, "I'm so full, I can't hear." You know, and I've never forgotten that. It made me laugh so hard at the time. And she was going off to purge.
She would pretend she was having a party, and she would act as if there were a whole lot of people over there, and so after she'd like order a few items, she would like throw her voice and ask somebody else, and they'd throw her voice back, and she would do like a ventriloquist act around the room of all, and order all this different food so they wouldn't think it was just for her.
Gilda's eating disorders flared up during the height of Saturday Night Live, but her problems with food were rooted in her childhood.
Throughout my teenage years, stress caused me to overeat, and the fear of being fat put me on tedious and endless diets.
She, on the inside, was a fat girl. And, you know, all of us on the inside were something that we had to make ourselves bigger and better. I mean, in her book, I think she says that she's barfed in every toilet at 30 Rock, which is a funny line. Her being candid about things of that nature was such a gift to people who struggle with the same thing.
She saw what was funny about the dark side and about the grim side of things. It's so invisible so badly with tragedy pools of mascara.
Gilda had paid a big price for her success. Saturday Night Live made her famous, adored by fans across the country. But her personal life was troubled by broken romances and eating disorders. Her honesty would help her deal with these problems as she searched for happiness and security in the years ahead. When the E! True Hollywood Story continues, Gilda meets Mr. Right at the wrong time.
To complicate things, I was married at the time, and Jean had been married and divorced twice before.
But even love could not protect her from a series of failures and flops on film.
And I don't think a movie career ever got over that. Gilda was America's sweetheart. And she wasn't anymore.
Head south
It's happening. It's hot in here.
to the burning sand.
Don't put the camera over there. They're doing something very private.
Take a turn on trendy Ocean Drive.
Everybody is susceptible to my charms.
And wind up in the place for big parties and beautiful people, South Beach.
Wow, you bet, baby.
So throw caution to the wind and let E! show you the sizzling side of Miami.
May the E be with you.
It's Wild on South Beach, tonight at 10, only on E!
Right now, you can get a complete pair of great-looking glasses for only $99 at LensCrafters in your choice of hundreds of the latest frame styles.
LensCrafters $99 complete pair sale.
This is a great offer. People should definitely not miss this.
Hurry, offer ends soon.
Second chances are rare. Life usually doesn't rewind. So when you get a chance to turn back time, grab it. Reach for Enamelon. Toothpaste technology so advanced, it helps undo the damage food does daily to enamel. Only Enamelon combines fluoride with liquid calcium to penetrate teeth, helping to rebuild enamel even stronger. Help undo the damage and rebuild enamel every day. Great tasting Enamelon. A second chance for your teeth.
Do I like to shop? Oh, yes.
How you doing? Franks and beans? Aisle 5. Beans and Franks? Aisle 7.
Hi. Hi.
Fat free. Nothing but carb. Check this out.
You're our 1 millionth shopper.
Use your card at supermarkets and drugstores and get double membership rewards points.
I love this card.
Women love shampooing with Clairol's herbal essences. Reveling in its all-natural botanicals. Luxuriating in the organic herbs and pure mountain water. And the ecstasy of what it does to their hair. But we'd also like to remind you, men like it too. And wait until you try Herbal Essence's styling line.
Introducing Smoky Red Barbecue Doritos. With a loud barbecue taste that'll get the place smoking.
Fire in the sky.
Smoky Red Barbecue Doritos. Umbrellas not included.
Time for Teletubbies.
Teletubbies Nursery Rhymes.
Twinkle, twinkle, little.
Your children will love to sing their favorite nursery rhymes with the Teletubbies. Teletubbies Nursery Rhymes, available now only on video.
Used to be. If I want something done right, I called me. It worked. Until I tried to quit smoking. I needed more than me. I got Nicorette. Nicorette helped me 2 ways. I used it on a regular schedule to help prevent my cravings, and for unexpected cravings, I was ready with an extra piece. I used to be a slave to cigarettes. Nicorette helped me hang on, helped me win. Now that I'm nicotine-free, I gotta tell you, it feels good to win.
Only Nicorette helps you control your cravings, your habit, 2 ways. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
In 1979, Saturday Night Live was in its 4th season, but the show's immense popularity was actually putting its future in jeopardy. Gilda and the rest of the cast were getting offers that were hard to refuse. In the coming year, Gilda would leave her comedy family, but find the love of her life.
Opportunity to leave early, and in fact, the then president, I believe his title was president of NBC, but the then head of NBC, Fred Silverman, actually tried to get her to do a primetime show. He wanted to put her on in primetime like Lucille Ball. He thought she was the Lucille Ball of the 70s.
Gilda's manager was fielding lots of calls.
She was getting offers, you have to remember, from everyone. Every movie studio, you know, every network. ABC had offered her own series, but she was very loyal. She was very loyal to Lorne and very loyal to the show.
Even as other members of the SNL cast branched out from the show, Gilda stayed on. But she also fulfilled her dream of performing on the New York stage. Lorne Michaels produced her Broadway debut, Gilda Live at the Winter Garden Theater. He knew her time on Saturday Night Live was coming to a close.
It was sort of the end of whatever it had been. Being able to just focus on Gilda's show and going to Broadway was thrilling.
Saturday Night Live staffers Marilyn Suzanne Miller and Franny Lee remember what Gilda Live meant to her.
She was so excited that she was going to have a Broadway show. That was the best. She was going to dance, she was going to sing, and that's what it meant. It was the greatest thing in the world for her.
Doing the show made Gilda happy, but it was not the huge success that she had hoped for.
Gilda Live, the stage show, which was really based on a lot of Saturday Night Live routines, was hit hard by the critics. A lot of them felt it was just so derivative of the program that, you know, why do it?
Although most of the critics did not love Gilda Live, the star found romance on the Broadway stage. Writer Rosie Schuster recalls how Gilda fell for G.E. Smith, the lead guitarist in the show's band.
There was one number where he would just jump really, really, really high, and he started to jump higher and higher and higher, and I thought, oh boy, they're just going to get together soon.
Gilda and G.E. were secretly married in April 1980.
The brilliant musician and the spirited comedienne had a civil ceremony in downtown Manhattan. I carried a bouquet of lollipops. G.E. wore his best jeans.
Finally, it appeared that Gilda was one step closer to her lifelong dream of having a family. But Gilda's longtime friend Pam Katz knew the marriage was not a perfect match.
I think it wasn't a good relationship for either one of them. Nice guy, gentle guy, sweet guy, but into very different things from Gilda. And I think ultimately they just weren't compatible. It didn't last very long.
In 1980, Gilda Live closed. Gilda producer Lorne Michaels left. So did Gilda and the rest of the original staff.
Well, we spent a lot of time together. The amount of energy and the amount of creativity that was going on, especially at the beginning, and holding on to one another, right? That we felt when we did leave one another, it was really hard.
I think if SNL would have stayed on and everyone would have stayed, that family would have stayed. That was a family to her. I don't think she would have run away from home if everyone had stayed.
Gilda's next career move was film, and that move completely changed the course of her life. In August of 1981, she started shooting a romantic comedy adventure called Hanky Panky, starring Gene Wilder. Gilda immediately fell in love with her co-star, as childhood friend Judy Levy recalls.
It was hard because she was married to G.E., so she didn't talk about it so much as a romance, but you could tell from the conversations that she was very involved with this person. And I didn't see them together, you know, before it was sort of out in the open, but my friend Pam did.
When I tell you that the electricity between the two of them was in the air, I mean, anybody could have felt it. Anybody. Gene proceeded to trip over one of the cables. He was so intently looking at Gilda, and I got goosebumps. I mean, it was just incredible to see what was going on between the two of them. And I thought, this is a relationship that cannot be stopped.
I was bitten with love, and you can tell it in the movie. The brash and feisty comedienne that everyone knew from Saturday Night Live turned into this shy, demure ingenue with knocking knees. It wasn't good for my movie career, but it changed my life.
The feeling was mutual for Gene.
If I made one great choice in my life, it was doing Hanky Panky, because I met Gilda, who changed where I live, how I think, how I feel, what work I do.
Up to that point, I had been a workaholic. I'd taken one job after another for over 10 years. But just looking at Gene made me want to stop, made me want to cook, made me want to start a garden, to have a family and settle down.
Michael Radner also knew that Gene was the perfect match for his sister.
This did become the man that she had been looking for all her life. I mean, this was somebody that was a wonderful man. She loved him.
To complicate things, I was married at the time, and Gene had been married and divorced twice before and was in no hurry to make another commitment. I lived in a house I had just bought in Connecticut, and he lived in Los Angeles. I got an amicable divorce 6 months later, and Gene and I lived together on and off for the next 2.5 years. My new career became getting him to marry me.
I think Gene represented everything that Gilda wanted in her life. A nice Jewish guy who happened to be an actor.
Although Gilda's personal life was at a high, her film career was at a low. Unlike television, movies didn't seem to capture her magic.
I always wondered why Gilda looked so pretty on television, even when doing crazy things, and never looked so wonderful in movies. Now, maybe because she was a comedian, no one took the time to light her correctly. I don't know the answer to that, or maybe she was just supposed to be a fall-down comedian.
Film was a completely different medium for Gilda, and she was hurt by the lack of a live audience.
I think performing kept her her psychic immunity good. And when she didn't have that kind of give and take with a live audience and that was like cutting off her oxygen supply.
In 1984, The Woman in Red was one of Gilda's more financially successful films. But her friends were shocked by her appearance in the movie.
Gilda played the ugly secretary, and there was a shot at the beginning of that. Well, we all just went like that because she looked like she was 70 years old. And we had never seen Gilda look like that. And we really all didn't know how it was left in the movie. It was horrible. And I don't think any of us ever got over that. And I don't think a movie career ever got over that. Gilda was America's sweetheart. And she wasn't anymore.
Coming up on the E! True Hollywood Story, Gilda and Gene try to start a family with heartbreaking results.
She wasn't talking about the miscarriage, but I think that is the way she was.
And later, the devastating news of a terrible illness brings her to the edge of a breakdown.
She completely withdrew. I think it was so shocking.
Wake up to fashion's most captivating faces, the world's most extraordinary homes, today's most talked about restaurants, and all of the endless ways to express and indulge yourself. Begin your morning with a 1-hour look at E's new network, Style. At 7 a.m. Eastern and Pacific every Tuesday through Friday, wake up with Style, the new network from the creators of E! Entertainment Television.
After having 3 kids,
Mind if I turn this down, please?
No! I was pretty worried that my body lost a lot of calcium.
Danny? Matt? Come on!
So I went to Rite Aid to talk to a pharmacist. They're specially trained at the Rite Aid Vitamin Institute. The Rite Aid pharmacist knew exactly what I needed and how much to take. And when I can still do this with my grandkids, I'll be glad we had that talk.
Rite Aid. It's not just a store, it's a solution.
Hey, let's talk New York. Let's talk big. Like the new Big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. It's a genuine street corner, 16-inch New York-style pizza with 8 big floppy foldable slices that's really, really good. At a price that's very un-New York, $9.99. The Big New Yorker pizza from Pizza Hut.
Imagine finding a hair color that's good for your hair. Natural Instincts. Made with a rare blend of aloe, chamomile, and ginseng. Natural Instincts from Clairol.
Nice.
Thanks.
Florida's natural, not-from-concentrate premium juice is made by a co-op of growers who are, well, like most traditional families. For example, they never miss their yearly gathering. They always respect their elders, and they constantly look out for the next generation. Sure, the folks who make Florida's natural see things a little differently. After all, they own the land, they own the trees, they own the company. Taste the difference it makes. Florida's natural premium juice.
I'm Joe Boxer, and I'll be brief. We need a cure for breast cancer. For General Motors Concept Cure, I designed the Chevy Venture Taxi. You can win, pledge, and enter. Let's stop breast cancer in its tracks.
Fresh breath, making all local stops. Tic-tac, breathe friendly. Hey!
What's it say?
In the summer of 1999, the flow of time will be disrupted. The restrictions of gravity will be lifted. There's only one question.
The ultimate family vacation this summer. The new Universal Studios Escape. Are you ready?
Mr. Mini Wheats.
Being famous, it's a beautiful thing. But everyone wants a part of me. The question is, which part? Are they crazy for my weak side? Are they screaming for my sweet side? Does my agent get 10% of both sides? When I face my public, which face do they want to see? Nutritious, delicious, shredded, frosted? You see, it's not easy being me. Or me.
Get the best of both sides. Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheats.
That's Mr. Mini Wheats to you.
Get connected to the biggest celebrities, the latest showbiz news, and more. It's the world of entertainment at your fingertips at www.eonline.com or AOL keyword E.
From TV tomboy to leading lady, Alyssa Milano Celebrity Profile, this Wednesday at 8 Eastern and Pacific, only on E.
They are American.
Roadhouse Grill. Eat, drink, and be yourself.
Tom Fitzmaurice, where do you start online?
Oh, InsideNewOrleans.com, but I could be part of it.
Everyone knows you have restaurant reviews and the recipe of the day on InsideNewOrleans.com, but why do you start there?
It's where I check the weather every day. I'm always looking for an excuse to avoid al fresco. Plus, it's where I begin all my gastronomic research.
Ooh, love that culinary talk.
Oh, I do it in French, too. Chateauneuf de Pape.
Where do you start online? Start inside. InsideNewOrleans.com.
Gilda was in her late 30s when she finally found true love with the man she'd been searching for all her life. Her romance with Gene Wilder made her personal life almost complete and made up for the failures of her movie career. But soon, that perfect private life would change. Gilda and Gene Wilder seemed like a match made in heaven. Actress Kelly LeBrock, who co-starred with the couple in The Woman in Red, remembers how Gilda felt about Gene.
She was very concerned that Gene was going to marry her, and that Gene was going to love her, and he did both.
Like in the romantic fairy tales I always loved, Gene Wilder and I were married by the mayor of a small village in the south of France, September 18, 1984.
Original Saturday Night Live cast member Lorraine Newman recalls Gilda's joy.
She adored him. She really adored him. She really felt that he was everything that she had always looked for. And, you know, he was a bit older than she. And I think also that tied into the loss of her father. And I think he treated her like his little girl, which she just relished.
They were very sweet, very loving. They just seemed to be right together. You know, when you see a couple, and sometimes it shouldn't be, they were right together.
Gilda and Gene's Connecticut neighbors, Elaine and Howard Orlow, were also touched by their friend's relationship.
It was a warm household. They complemented each other very well and loved each other very much.
Yeah.
There was only one thing missing in the marriage.
She loved kids. She really could relate to them, and she was also cognizant of what type of a parent her friends were.
Gilda's special ability to connect with children was apparent to her friend, Robin Zweibel.
She'd just come to the house just to be with Lindsay. You know, she'd walk in, I'm going to play with Lindsay today. Go, okay, I'll see you later. Bring up, you know, some tea later or whatever. And Lindsay knew she was coming over to see her. I mean, she just was that way.
But soon, Gilda was delivered devastating news. She was unable to have children of her own.
There I was, lying on a table with my legs spread apart, watching the worst show I'd ever seen on television. The show was about a 37-year-old newlywed who finds out she's infertile.
Childhood friend Judy Levy and her husband Fred recalled that Gilda was determined to have children.
I think that was a very stressful time in her life. You know, I think that she had never expected that it would be something that would be difficult, you know, to have a family. But she was certainly willing to go through it. She would have done anything to have a family and to have a baby.
I think she wished tremendously that she had a child, and
She talked about wanting to have a child, and she talked about what could be done to have a child.
Gilda and Jean went to great lengths to have a baby. First, they tried in vitro fertilization. Then Gilda had tubal surgery. Her brother remembers that nothing seemed to work.
They jumped through hoops, and they did everything possible trying to get Gilda pregnant so she could have a child.
And I remember Jean and her joking about, you know, having to do it at the right time for the thermometer and the temperature and the heat and the ovulation and everything, and they had a good joke between the two of them.
After a few stressful months, Gilda and Jean reluctantly put their baby plans on hold. They were slated to star in the movie Haunted Honeymoon and relocated to England for the filming. A production assistant on the shoot noticed how Gilda had changed since the days when they worked together on Saturday Night Live.
I think she was different on Haunted Honeymoon. I think that she was more mellowed into her life with Jean. She was happily married. She wasn't, you know, the single toast of the town like she had been in New York.
While filming Haunted Honeymoon, Gilda enjoyed being the pampered movie star and experiencing the English way of life. The atmosphere seemed to have a good effect on her. Then, to her surprise, she discovered that she was pregnant. At the time, Robin Schlein didn't realize that she was the one who delivered the good news to Jean.
She said, well, just tell him, you know, smooth sailing on the Western Front. I'm like, yeah. She said, no, just tell him that. I said, okay. So, you know, I hung up the phone, and I got Jean on the walkie. I said, you know, Gilda says this. And he's like, okay. And then, you know, 5 years later, I read the book and realize this was the message to him that she was pregnant.
Jean and I were shocked, ecstatic. We walked around Belgravia and held on to each other tight.
Tragically, less than a week later, Gilda discovered that she had miscarried.
I really didn't cry as much as I thought I would. Jean was wonderful about it. What could we do? We accepted that this wasn't the right time for me to be pregnant.
Gilda threw herself back into her work.
She wasn't talking about the miscarriage, but I think that was the way she was. It was like throw herself into something so that she didn't have to, you know, sit home and sulk.
I bounced back quickly from the miscarriage, but not too long afterwards I caught a cold that was going around. They say that you aren't aware of your health until you lose it. The last couple of weeks in England, I just didn't have any energy.
Gilda was still feeling weak when the Haunted Honeymoon filming wrapped in November. She and Jean immediately returned to the United States. Michael Radner remembers how his sister desperately searched for answers to her mysterious illness.
When Gilda was starting to feel ill, she would talk to us about it, and she was always chasing from one doctor to another doctor. And for somebody like that to suddenly have no strength and, you know, be just dragging along and feeling lousy, this was very upsetting to her.
Her poor health was not only upsetting to Gilda, her friends were also deeply concerned. Marilyn Suzanne Miller noticed that Gilda's fame appeared to interfere with a diagnosis.
She kept getting blown off by doctors. This is the celebrity curse of getting sick. They either, like, want your autograph and they're too scared of you to actually do the right thing, or they go overboard. And they kept telling her she was being crazy and neurotic, and they told her she had Epstein-Barr, and that was the word for a long time. Gilda's got Epstein-Barr, Gilda's got Epstein-Barr.
She was so entertaining. I know that had a lot to do with it, and she also complained about that later on, that she used to go in and out of her nerves try to entertain the doctors. And they got off on it because she was hysterical. And they would be so, you know, caught up with the moment, too, that I don't know if they really wanted to look any further.
Gilda's pain continued to escalate. She tried to go on with her life, but she was finding that harder and harder to do.
She was not well. She was constantly tired. She was constantly having to rest.
She always felt bloated. She was always complaining that she had stomach pains. You know, time passed and she just wasn't feeling better. And she goes, I just hate, you know, being bothered with my body. It's just like taking over.
Robin's husband, Alan Zweibel, knew that Gilda had finally achieved a balance in her life, and he could see her frustration as her health weakened.
There is, like, I'm mad at my body. It's as if it was a betrayal, you know? Why are you doing this to me? I got stuff I got to do. I finally got my life together.
As Gilda worried and doctors searched for answers, her symptoms continued to worsen. When the answer finally arrived, her worst fears came true. Her fairy tale life was suddenly turned into a brave fight for survival. Coming up on the E! True Hollywood Story, Gilda struggles to keep her sense of humor as she battles for her life.
They married the men who changed music forever.
Everybody wanted a piece of them.
But behind the romance, they suffered betrayal.
There were, he claimed, over 300 groupies he had had sex with.
Abuse.
We just found her covered in blood, and I beat her up and I have no idea.
And tragedy.
There was only one part for her to play, your grieving widow.
Now, see the Beatles like you've never seen them before, through the eyes of the women who loved them.
It was just mind-boggling.
Beatle Wives, tomorrow at 8 Eastern and Pacific on the E! True Hollywood Story.
Looks like one vacation is just more fun. We guarantee it. Carnival, the most popular cruise line in the world.
When you have it your way, it just tastes better.
Are you on? I'm passing through. That's all I know, really. In the bother blood veins. This one is kind of steaks for no
TV Guide has come to television. Introducing the new TV Guide channel, TV Guide Online, and TV Guide Interactive. Change the way you channel.
Arriving at last, from Saturn. The world's first three-door coupe. Why didn't anyone think of this before? The new Saturn coupe has better pickup than a Maserati. After a Little League game, anyway. The world's first three-door coupe. From Saturn. Why didn't anyone think of this before?
You want the inside scoop. People in the know use New Preference by L'Oreal. Take it from me, color doesn't get any better than this. The secret? Special new anti-drying conditioners, so my hair won't dry out. Now my hair is softer than ever before, right down to the ends. And Preference has Stay True colorant, so my color won't fade out. So I have golden color, long-lasting color, simply glorious color. New Preference by L'Oreal. Pass it on. You're worth it.
Lycos? Go get it. Unleash the new Lycos, and no matter what you're looking to retrieve from the internet, Lycos will hunt it down quicker and easier. Lycos, go get it.
Never seen you looking so lovely as you did tonight.
Smart ones from Weight Watchers in the red box. Delicious recipes like angel hair pasta and a rich tomato basil sauce. Make red your color with Smart Ones.
1, 2, 3.
Martha Stewart's Everyday Sheets now come in over 40 colors.
51.
Everyday 100% cotton towels come in 46 colors with over 30 different shower curtains.
56.
The Martha Stewart Everyday Home Collection. Over 1,200 bed, bath, and kitchen coordinated designs.
And 230 thread count. 100% cotton sateen sheets. 1, 2.
See the Martha Stewart Everyday Home Collection at Kmart.
How many sugars do you want?
Oh, I'll take 2. Hey, look at the little telephone.
Keep your eye on him. He'll be over every day to use it.
That's okay. Just as long as he dials 1010 321 first.
Isn't 1010 321 great? You should see how low my phone bill is.
And now it's even better, you know. Saves 50% off calls over 10 minutes.
Right, day or night. So I save big on all my most important calls.
Like when I call my boyfriend in New York.
Right, like when you call your boyfriend in New York. Wait a minute, boyfriend? You got a boyfriend?
Brought to you by Miss Saigon, the classic love story of our time from the creators of Les Miserables. This musical legend is now celebrating its 8th spectacular year at the Broadway Theater.
Gilda's health had declined for a year, but doctors could not find the cause. She had no energy and she suffered from mysterious pains. But lab tests and physical exams were unable to pinpoint the source of her illness. Then, finally, her doctors discovered the frightening answer.
Cancer was not a major concern for what was bothering her until the actual diagnosis came through that it was ovarian cancer, and that, of course, hit her like 2x4 in the head.
For a year, Gilda's complaints about her health stumped an array of medical specialists. Then, in late October 1986, her internist discovered an irregularity in her liver. She was immediately checked into the hospital for tests. The next day, Gilda and Gene received the devastating news.
Gene and I looked up into this doctor's eyes as he said, very calmly, "We've discovered there is a malignancy." A flush went through my body, and out of my mouth came a sound like a guttural animal cry. Gene said he did the same thing, but silently. He still remembers the sound I made because it was so primitive, so emotional, like somebody stabbing a knife into me.
2 days later, surgeons removed a grapefruit-sized tumor and all of Gilda's reproductive organs. Her hopes of ever having her own child were crushed.
No more biological time clock to worry about. The important thing was that I was alive.
Gilda's doctors told her she would soon begin chemotherapy. Pam Katz remembers how the diagnosis affected her dear friend.
She withdrew. She completely withdrew. I think it was so shocking. It was such... there is no other word. It was just shocking for her. And she got depressed.
Immediately after her surgery, Gilda was helped by Joanna Bull, a cancer psychotherapist.
She was in a hospital bed, not in very good shape, and my first impulse was to simply be there for her in whatever way I could.
Joanna persuaded Gilda to visit the wellness community in Santa Monica, California. Here, Gilda could share her feelings with fellow cancer patients, such as Melinda Scheinkoff, who has recovered from cancer with a full life expectancy. But at the time she met Gilda, they had the same frightening prognosis.
It was the most life-giving place, and here I was. I couldn't even stand upright, and I walked into this room, and I thought there'd be people in stages of terminal cancer passively accepting their fate. Yet I opened the door, and it was a room filled with laughter.
The wellness community renewed Gilda's hope and taught her how to live with cancer. Harold Benjamin founded the Cancer Support Center.
It was a place to come to learn whatever you needed to know to join with your physician in the fight for recovery, and that's what Gilda did while she was here.
She went from being depressed, despondent, why me, all sorts of normal responses, to focusing on the quality of her life and what she could control.
Soon, Gilda was reaching out and helping boost the spirits of other cancer patients.
She became the star of our group of cancer patients. Her personality attracted people to her so that they started to go to her for advice as to how they ought to handle things. And she would, well, sometimes she would be funny about it, but sometimes she would be serious about it.
Even when Gilda was serious, her sense of humor still surfaced.
To handle the fear at the time, Gilda decided to give me as a gift what we called our cancer fight song. It really didn't have a tune, but she sang it like this. It goes.
Treatments caused Gilda to lose her hair, but close friend Judy Levy noticed that Gilda developed a sense of humor about her new look when she went to see Gilda in California and brought along her 3-month-old son.
He didn't have a lot of hair because he was only 3 months old, and we decided that it would be cute if, because Gilda didn't have a lot of hair at that time either, if we took a picture of the two of them so they could compare their bald heads.
Gilda loved being around children and would not pass up the opportunity to entertain them. Even during the toughest times of her illness, she would often drop by Howard and Elaine Orlow's house and perform for their young daughter, Alyssa. The Orlows recorded one of those moments on their home video camera.
She had us in tears, laughter. Seeing that little face upside down.
And just, she's great, was great at ad-libbing and going with the flow.
Her spirit was filled with laughter. But by the fall of 1987, Gilda's body was suffering from the effects of a year of chemotherapy. She still needed to kill the remaining cancer cells, but her doctors believed more chemo could permanently disable her. So the doctors changed their strategy and prescribed a series of 30 radiation treatments over a 6-week period.
It was such a horrible sentence. Another sentence. 6 weeks going every day to be radiated. I thought about what radiation meant to me, my father's brain tumor.
Gilda continued to struggle with the disease. As she dove deeper and deeper into a variety of treatments, Jean stood by her side. Actress Kelly LeBrock remembers Jean's devotion.
He loved her deeply. I know that. I feel that, and I saw that. And I saw it especially when I saw Gilda when she'd had her first treatments and her hair had fallen out and she was there with her scarf. And it was a very nice, fancy restaurant, and it was beautiful to see them out and still trying, and the way he stood by her and the way he held her.
He really was wonderful. And I think it's because I don't think he ever treated her any differently. If he was angry about something, he was angry about it. It didn't make any difference whether she was sick or not. And I think for a person who's going through a terrible illness like that, to have someone sort of not defer to you as if you might not make it is really important.
Then, in the spring of 1988, Gilda heard some wonderful news. Her test results indicated that she was in remission. She believed that she had finally triumphed over her cancer. Gilda was flying high, and her great wish was to return to television and hear the laughter of an audience. She approached her old friend Alan Zweibel about appearing on the program he was producing. It's Gary Shandling's show.
She wanted to show people that you could have cancer and not let it get the best of you. So she said in front of us, she says, I got to do this show. I want you guys to help me make cancer funny. Well, we wrote a script, and she wrote a bunch of cancer jokes for it. And you gotta understand that.
No one would remember her, that she didn't look like Gilda. Well, you know, you heard the ovation. You saw her come through that door, and what happened? And she became 22 again with that smile. And, you know, that's what she wanted to hear. That gave her the love and the warmth.
Mow, 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 mow. I can't believe it. Look, now get these out of here. What are these doing in my house? I can't believe it. I knew if I let you people in here, something...
She got nominated for an Emmy for that appearance on that show, and she felt good about the way she was received and the fact that she was performing. In fact, Shandling and Gilda and I had meetings with HBO subsequent to that. She wanted to do her own show, and Gary and I were going to do it with her.
Soon, a project was in the works with the cable network HBO.
The type of show Gilda wanted to do was basically the old Jack Benny radio show, where people come into a living room who are on the show, guests, and everyone talks. And then she got sick. We just never did it.
Suddenly, Gilda discovered she was not in remission after all. Her sense of hope had been an illusion.
The computer had messed up, and with all my precious medical care, I had become the victim of a computer.
She had been called, Gilda, and told that they had made a computer error in California, and instead of the CA-125 going down, it was in fact elevated. It was a hard day.
Gilda's CA-125 cancer test had been misread. Instead of being in remission, her cancer was already spreading rapidly.
Probably the most difficult time for me, I can't say what was the most difficult time for her, was when she had her recurrence, you know, and when nothing seemed to be working. And I think it was that macrobiotic phase, I call it, where she decided to follow the program religiously, and the person who she had, you know, who came to Connecticut to sort of help her stay on this path, told her it was better if she didn't speak to people, you know, that would be draining. If she didn't see anyone. And even at that time, I would call. It was the only time when she was sick for that, like, month or so, where if I would call, she wouldn't talk to me.
After 2.5 years of treatment, Gilda's body began to give in. But her family and friends could see that her spirit was still alive.
Typical of Gilda, I remember her saying one day, sure, they're going to torture me to death so that I could die, about her treatment. And you know, she was making a joke, but to me it was true. I mean, you know, treatment after treatment after treatment after treatment, nothing was working. It was enough already. It was just enough already.
She kept trying, and she kept her spirits up. And of course, when she'd get a bad report, it would be devastating, and she'd be upset for a few days, and she would talk us, and we'd talk about it. But we always had the hope, and she always pulled herself back together, because, you know, life was to be lived, and she was going to fight the battle right till the end.
But on May 20th, 1989, Gilda slipped away.
She never gave in until, you know, the very end, and even then, you know, who knows what was going through her mind when she finally drifted off into her, you know, her last state of unconsciousness before she passed away.
Gilda's passing was hard to accept by those who loved her.
It's always been a big source of grief to me that I never, first of all, that she even took the time to say goodbye to me, or tried to, you know, and then I wasn't able to.
Gilda was laid to rest near her home in Connecticut.
It's a beautiful ceremony, small.
It was pouring. It was pouring and thundering. And I remember they had a tent. It was outside, and the rain just dripping down. And yeah.
As if God was crying.
And the thunder was, you know, I think Jean or one of her friends said, "There's Gilda. She's here. She's listening." She's taking it in.
Coming up, Gilda's spirit lives on.
It's a place that fulfills what is basically the motto of Gilda's Club, that no one should ever have to face cancer alone.
Head south.
It's happening. It's hot in here.
To the burning sand.
Don't put the camera over there. They're doing something very private.
Take a turn on trendy Ocean Drive.
Everybody is susceptible to my charm.
And wind up in the place for big parties and beautiful people, South Beach.
Wow, you bet, baby.
So throw caution to the wind and let E show you the sizzling side of Miami.
May the E be with you.
It's Wild on South Beach, coming up next, only on E.
Hi, honey. I've asked you here tonight to witness a phenomenon that has never before been seen in this house. It's called cooking. Cooking? Delicious food that's good for you. A pizza delivery boy's gonna be with his other families tonight.
Introducing new skillet sensations from Lean Cuisine. Fresh-cooked, complete meals, including meat, with all the prep work done for you.
This is a complete meal. Normal families eat them all the time.
New skillet sensations from Lean Cuisine. It's not just lean, it's cuisine.
I'm Dana Buckman. And I'm Karen Harmon. And we've got designs
on fighting breast cancer.
For General Motors Concept Cure,
we've designed this Pontiac Grand Am.
You can win. Pledge and enter. It's one fashion statement we can all be proud of.
Napoleon, Alexander the Great, Donald Trump. We're all cut from the same cloth, and that cloth is very, very large.
It's not too big, is it?
No. Turn left on Trump Avenue.
Ever wonder why New Yorkers have such big mouths?
Go big or go home.
Because we eat big pizza, like the big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. 16 inches of real New York pizza dripping with cheese at a very un-New York price.
$9.99. They've got to be losing money on this.
The big New Yorker, new from Pizza Hut. It's beautiful.
Let's jump.
Betty Crocker knows how to make 'em flip. Lighter, fluffier Bisquick pancakes. Because when it comes to great pancakes, Betty knows best.
Imagine finding a hair color that's good for your hair. Natural Instincts, made with a rare blend of aloe, chamomile, and ginseng. Natural Instincts from Clairol.
Nice.
Thanks. Where on earth would the House of Blues choose to celebrate an opening with Bob Dylan, Sheryl Crow, and Michael Bolton? What phenomenon would it take to bring the Tony Award-winning musical Chicago so very far off Broadway? What could be so fascinating to attract internationally renowned chefs, masseurs, and quite possibly surfers from around the world? Just watch. Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas. Opening March 2nd. Call for reservations now.
My blind date. You are so lucky you get to stay home. Again.
Introducing new Crunch and Munch toffee
Hi.
pretzels.
You ready?
Bite-sized pretzels covered in sweet toffee.
Let's go. I'm ready.
Because life is sweet.
Guys?
And a little crunchy.
Hi there, I'm Kevin Pollak, and you're watching Entertainment Television.
E downloads the hottest stories on the net. Tales of the Web. This Sunday at 7 Eastern and Pacific, only on E.
Here in Orlando, we...
Arthur Hardy, publisher of The Mardi Gras Guide. Where do you start online?
InsideNewOrleans.com. It's the best local site on the web and the only local search around.
Don't tell me it's all work and no play.
Oh, no. InsideNewOrleans.com has great calendars, restaurant reviews, the weather. I can even check my stocks in real time.
So, would you say there's life outside of Carnival in New Orleans?
Well, of course there is. There's Carnival in Rio, Carnival in Venice.
Where do you start online? Start inside, InsideNewOrleans.com.
This February, Cinemax has something special planned for you every night. But that's not surprising. Cinemax always has a different hit every night at 8 all year long. And the first on Max Friday premiere is a movie you've never seen before, A Murder of Crows, starring Cuba Gooding Jr. and Tom Berenger. Nobody shows you more than Cinemax, the movie service for the movie fan.
Take your entertainment and movie variety to the max on Cinemax and Cox Cable.
Gilda's unique sense of humor and the characters she created for Saturday Night Live will be remembered forever. Her life touched many people and continues to do so.
Gilda's gone, but if through Gilda's Club and through awareness of this type of cancer and of all types of cancer, if that allows more people to seek early treatment and to be cured, it certainly doesn't make up for it, but it certainly takes away some of the sting of her passing.
After Gilda's death, her cancer psychotherapist Joanna Bull started Gilda's Club, a non-profit cancer support center with the help of Gene Wilder.
We'd planned with Gilda to set up something for people on the East Coast. They had experienced that aloneness, that feeling that nobody can really understand what you're going through. And after her death, he called me and asked if I'd like to come and see what I could do in New York. It just was a natural thing to name it for Gilda.
Gilda's Club is not only in New York, it is expanding nationwide. Gilda's brother Michael is helping to set up a Gilda's Club in their hometown of Detroit.
All services at a Gilda's Club are totally free. Somebody with cancer does not have to worry about money. Everybody is welcome. It's a place that fulfills what is basically the motto of Gilda's Club, that no one should ever have to face cancer alone. And I consider this to be as important a legacy, maybe more so, of Gilda's life as her humor.
Gilda's positive outlook on life taught Gene Wilder to appreciate every moment.
Most of us are walking around during the day and we're too busy with other things to realize that our lives are slipping away. I feel like every once in a while, if I get into a rut, that Gilda is shaking me, saying, come on, don't waste time on that.
Her life has served as a source of inspiration for her friends.
Gilda shined. And that was the thing. She was going to shine come hell or high water, and she did it until the very end of her life.
Gilda would have the most amazing insights, and God bless her, she wouldn't keep them to herself. And she'd relay them with hilarity, even if they be of life and death.
You see the reaction that she got not only in the studio, but from years later now, years after her death, how she touched the souls of people and a smile comes to their face when you say her name.
She's one of probably 3 people that I can point to that had the abilities to play different characters, make you laugh, remain feminine. She's one of the most talented comedians of all time.
You know, I've been coming here to do Saturday Night Live since 1976, and the thing that keeps coming back to this, brings you back to the show is the people you get to work with. And I'd like to show you something we recorded on this stage in 1978. You know, when I look at that tape, I can't help but think how great she was and how young I looked. Gilda, we miss you.
Strap yourself in because we're about to get wild.